Lord Farquaad would have been in some major hot water if he'd actually married Fiona. Fairy Godmother and Fiona's parents had it all planned out for Prince Charming to rescue Fiona. Fairy Godmother especially was banking on the arrangement, as it would allow her son and by extension her to inherit the kingdom of Far, Far Away. Just imagine how earth-shatteringly furious she and Fiona's parents would have been after finding out that some stunted, egotistical, petty and impressively chinned lord had made a deal with a grumpy ogre with a heart of gold to save their daughter and Fairy Godmother's ticket to Far, Far Away. For him to marry Duloc is a small lordship that is utterly dwarfed by the kingdom of Far, Far Away. Duloc isn't very defensible either, as this answer by Matthew's L. Encore regarding the defensibility of Duloc clearly shows Duloc, the fortified city of Lord Farquaad in Shrek, isn't all that defensible. The wall surrounding the city is actually pretty good. We don't get much screen time with the outer wall, but it is clearly tall enough and thick enough, with towers spread across its length. The first issue is the location. The city is in the middle of a flat field, and there are zero obstacles to prevent an army from reaching the walls or setting up siege equipment. Even a simple dry moat would be a big advantage here, but the location is really terrible. Then there is the castle. The structure clearly draws its inspiration from early medieval period square keeps, common in England and elsewhere as the defensive center of a fortification. The big issue is its size. The castle is huge, stretching hundreds of feet into the air. Such a monstrous structure would collapse under its own weight, but even assuming the Shrek universe has some magical building techniques, this wouldn't be a great defensive structure. There don't appear to be any arrow loops or even windows on most of the castle, meaning the battlements hundreds of feet up would be the main spot to challenge attackers from, but it's so high effectively engaging enemies would be near impossible. Additionally, the castle is huge, and the garrison needed to protect to keep this big would need to be huge. Combining the huge size, poor structural stability and flat surrounding grounds, this castle would be very vulnerable to siege engines and undermining. The massive size of the place would require a big garrison, which would make hunger a very real threat. All in all, not a very effective castle. Not to mention Fairy Godmother is a massively powerful magic user who could easily turn Duloc into a pile of rubble. So in short, Farquaad's newly found kingship wouldn't have lasted very long at all. His death at the jaws of dragon was likely a far more merciful end than what Fairy Godmother and Fiona's parents would have had in store for him.